Have you ever found yourself complaining too much, avoiding new technology or neglecting personal hygiene? Sometimes getting older brings wisdom, but it can also bring habits we don't always want to admit. These habits sneak up on us over time and can hold us back from living our best lives, even though they're common among older adults. Stick with us until the end as we explore 12 of these habits, why they happen, and simple ways to break them so you can age with joy, growth, and connection rather than decline. Before we start, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video, as it helps me continue sharing important lessons about aging. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment 1. If you don't, comment 0 to let me know so I can make better videos for you. Now, let's dive in. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation where someone starts sharing too many details about their personal life? Like their latest medical issue, a fight with the bank, or family drama? Or maybe you've done this yourself, unloading personal information on someone who wasn't expecting it. As we get older, we often crave deeper, more meaningful conversations. But sometimes we overshare without realizing it. Sometimes we just want to connect with others and share our experiences. But not everyone is ready for that level of personal sharing, especially in casual settings. Sharing too many personal details too quickly can make others feel uncomfortable or overwhelmed, even if they don't say anything. So how do we avoid this? Try asking yourself, would I want to hear this from someone else right now? If the answer is no, save that story for a close friend or family member. For others, keep the conversation lighter and make sure there's room for them to share as well. Ask about their day and interests. This makes the conversation more balanced. Next, do you find yourself sticking to the same routines, eating the same meals, watching the same shows, and following a set daily schedule? As we get older, the familiar feels comforting, and trying new things can seem unnecessary or overwhelming. But this can lead to a dull mind. Our brains need new experiences to stay sharp and engaged. If it's been a while since you tried something new, it's easy to start again. Aim to try one new thing each week, no matter how small. Try a new dish, explore a different hobby, or take a different route on your walk. These small changes can keep your brain active and boost your mood. It doesn't have to be a big change, just something different. Give it a try this week and let us know in the comments what you tried. Finally, let's talk about living in the past. Do you often start sentences with "back in my day" or tell the same stories about your youth? Nostalgia can be comforting, but constantly living in the past can make you feel disconnected from the present. Sharing memories can create bonds, but if you only focus on the past, it can start to feel repetitive for others. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please comment 1 to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell for more videos. Your support helps me keep creating content that informs and inspires you. Now, let's move forward. Why do we do this as we age? Reflection becomes a natural part of life. We've got a treasure trove of experiences to draw from, and sometimes it feels like the past holds more weight than the future does. But here's the rub. Leaning too hard into yesterday. Dim your view of today and tomorrow. The fix. Blend that nostalgia with a dash of curiosity instead of only mining the past for conversation. Dip into the present. Ask someone what's lighting them up right now, what they're binge watching or what they're looking forward to. Try something current yourself. Scroll through a social media app. Check out a trending show or read up on a news story that's got everyone talking. It's not about abandoning your memories. It's about staying tethered to the world as it is. Balance is key. So next time you're tempted to launch into back of my day, tossing it, what about now? And see where it takes you. Staying connected with the world around you is more important than ever, especially as time marches on. It's tempting to focus solely on what's wrong with today, whether it's politics, technology, or shifting cultural trends. But engagement goes beyond pointing out flaws. It's about digging deeper to truly grasp what's happening and why. Give yourself something to look forward to, a purpose that keeps you moving. Maybe it's planning a trip to a place you've always wanted to visit, signing up for a class to learn a new skill, or even organizing a simple day out with friends or family. The past is a treasure trove of memories, no doubt, but life isn't paused. It's unfolding right now, full of possibilities. The more you stay curious and involved, the richer your conversations become. People will notice your enthusiasm, and you'll find yourself enjoying discussions more, whether they're lighthearted chats or deeper debates. Now, let's talk about something many wrestle with: snap judgments. Have you ever caught yourself muttering, "Back in my day, people knew how to behave," or "Kids today just don't understand hard work"? If those thoughts sound familiar, you're in good company. For a lot of older adults, the world feels like it's spinning further away from the one they knew. Growing up, technology moves at lightning speed. Social customs evolve, and even basic courtesy seems to have shifted. It's easy to look at these changes and decide things were better before. Sometimes in certain ways they might have been, but here's where it gets tricky. Constantly judging the present based on the past builds walls instead of bridges. Younger folks might feel dismissed or attacked rather than heard, and that frustration flows both ways, leaving everyone disconnected. So why do we fall into this pattern? The world you came of age and had its rhythm, distinct values, clear expectations, and unwritten rules that shape daily life. When those foundations shift, it can feel disorienting, even chaotic. When something doesn't click with what you know, the knee-jerk reaction is often to criticize. But here's the reality. Every generation carves its path. Different doesn't always mean worse. It's just different. The fix: swap judgment for curiosity. Next time you're tempted to roll your eyes, pause and ask why, instead of, why are they glued to their phones all the time? Try what's drawing them to social media so much, rather than nobody wants to work anymore. Wonder, how has the idea of work changed, and what's driving that shift? Instead of, kids today have no discipline, ask, how has parenting evolved and what strengths does it bring? This small shift from critique to questions opens doors. You'll find conversations with younger people, whether they're your grandkids, neighbors, or strangers, turn into something lively and mutual. They feel respected. You gain insight, and maybe you even pick up a fresh perspective or two. It's a win-win that keeps relationships strong and your mind sharp. Here's another habit that sneaks up on us, and it's one we don't always like to admit. Have you ever skipped a shower because the effort felt overwhelming, or worn the same sweater a few days longer than you'd care to confess? Perhaps. There was a time when you took pride in getting dressed up, but lately it's slipped down the priority list. If this rings a bell, you are far from alone. For many seniors, personal hygiene can slide, and it's not just about laziness. It's more complicated than that. Why does this happen? Energy fades with age. Standing in the shower or hauling laundry downstairs can feel like running a marathon. Loneliness or depression can sap motivation too. If no one's around to see you, why bother? And if you're not leaving the house much, it's easy to shrug and think, who's going to notice? But here's why it matters. Neglecting hygiene doesn't just affect how you look. It chips away at your health and spirit. Unwashed skin can lead to infections. Skipped dental care invites bigger problems, and letting grooming lapse often drags self-esteem down with it. Plus, let's be practical. Others notice more than we might think, and it can subtly shift how they engage with us. The good news, you can turn it around with small, doable steps. Simplify self-care. Keep wipes by your chair for quick refreshers. Pick comfy clothes that don't need fussing, or sit on a shower stool to save energy. Set a phone alarm as a nudge to brush your teeth or wash up. Even on quiet days at home, pull on a clean shirt. It's surprising how much that lifts your mood. Give yourself a reason to care. Schedule a coffee date or a video call. This isn't about vanity. It's about honoring yourself with dignity and feeling good in your skin. Be real for a second. Have you ever let this slip? What's one trick that's helped you stay on track now? Take a slow look around your space. Are there piles of yellowed newspapers, a broken toaster you swore you'd fix, or closets bursting with maybe someday stuff? Do you have a junk drawer or 3 stuffed with odds and ends you haven't touched in years? If so, you might be clinging to more than you need, and trust me, you're not the only one. Why do we hoard like this? Sometimes it's emotional. Those old letters or that chipped mug tie us to moments we cherish. Other times it's the, I might need it mindset. Throwing things out feels wasteful when you grow up fixing and reusing, and honestly, decluttering can feel like a mountain too steep to climb. So we put it off the downside. Clutter isn't just messy, it's stressful. A crowded home makes simple tasks harder, spikes anxiety, and can even trip you up literally. Plus, picture this. Do you want your kids or grandkids sorting through decades of stuff someday? Let's lighten the load. Try this. If you haven't used it in a year, it's time to let it go. Donate it or toss it. Start tiny. Tackle one shelf, one drawer, or one box. Set a timer for 15 minutes a day. It's less daunting that way. Adopt a one in, one out. Rule new sweater. Ditch an old one, and if trashing feels wrong, donate instead. Knowing it'll help someone can ease the sting. Decluttering isn't about erasing the past. It's about carving out a calmer, safer. Now, what's one thing you've been holding on to that you could release? Share it. I'd love to hear. Health is your foundation, yet it's easy to veer into extremes, overloading on pills or dodging the doctor entirely. Know someone who reaches for a tablet at every twinge, or maybe someone who shrugs off a nagging cough, insisting it's fine. Both are risky. Over-medicating can spiral. Too many drugs or the wrong mix might mean side effects, organ strain, or dependency. Some folks clinging to old prescriptions long after they're needed. Assuming more is better. It's not. On the flip side, avoiding checkups, whether from fear, pride, or I'm too busy, lets small issues fester into big ones. It's just aging, they say. But that's not always true if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable. Please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. The Fix Find Balance book. Regular doctor visits. Even when you feel okay catching problems early, beats scrambling later, sit down with your doctor and review your meds. Are they all still essential? Could doses shift if something feels off? Get a second opinion. Doctors aren't infallible. Tune into your body. Don't brush off aches or fatigue as normal. Acting early can be a game changer. This isn't about paranoia. It's about owning your well-being with smart choices. Do you see this in someone you know? Let's swap stories. Lastly, here's a subtle one, interrupting. Ever cut someone off because you've heard it before or couldn't wait to share your take? It's not uncommon, especially when you've got decades of wisdom to draw from. You've navigated so much when someone's circling a problem you solved ages ago. It's natural to jump in with answers, but here's the catch. It can feel dismissive even if you don't mean it to. They might stop sharing, and you miss out on the full story. Try this, let them finish. Listen fully, then respond. It shows respect, keeps the conversation flowing, and who knows, you might hear something new. Have you caught yourself doing this? How do you hit pause? Why do we interrupt others during conversations? It often stems from an overwhelming excitement to share our hard-earned wisdom. You've lived through so many experiences, been there, done that, and there's a genuine desire to help someone by offering insights you've gathered along the way. But then there's the flip side. Slower conversations can feel agonizingly frustrating. Some people take what seems like forever to get to the heart of their point, meandering through details while you're sitting there practically vibrating with impatience, waiting for your chance to chime in. The delay can test your patience to its limits. There's also a nagging fear of forgetting. If you don't blurt out that brilliant thought right now, it might slip away into the ether, lost forever. And let's not overlook the desire for engagement. Jumping in mid-sentence can feel like you're adding energy to the discussion. Keeping it lively and dynamic, except it doesn't always land that way too often. It leaves the other person feeling steamrolled or ignored. Here's the catch, though. Interrupting has consequences. It can make people feel dismissed as if their thoughts don't matter, or worse, like they're unimportant to you. It might even come across as disrespectful, even if that's the furthest thing from your intent. Over time, this habit can erode trust. People might start sharing less with you, hesitant to open up when they know they'll be cut off. That means fewer deep, meaningful conversations, which is the opposite of what you want. People do value advice, but only when they feel truly heard first. When they sense you've taken the time to listen, not just sat there poised to pounce with your input. So, how do you break the cycle? It starts with practicing active listening. Force yourself to pause before responding, resisting that urge to leap in. Wait for a natural break in the conversation. A moment when the other person has fully expressed their thought. If you feel that itch to interrupt, try taking a slow, deep breath to anchor yourself and let them finish another trick. Repeat back what you've heard in your own words. It's a simple way to show you were genuinely tuned in, not just biding your time until it's your turn to talk. Instead of barreling in with advice, ask questions to draw them out further, rather than assuming you've got their meaning pegged. Say something like, "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about that?" And it keeps the conversation flowing and shows curiosity. If you're worried about losing your train of thought, keep a pen handy and jot down a quick note better than cutting someone off mid-sentence. Or try this silently. Count to 3 before opening your mouth. That tiny buffer can help you break the habit of jumping too soon. At its core, conversation is about building connections, not just unloading knowledge. When you listen more intently, people will value your words more. When you do speak, they'll know it's coming from a place of thoughtfulness. Be honest with yourself. Do you ever catch yourself interrupting? Let's unpack it together. Share your thoughts below. Do you ever find yourself brushing off new experiences with a quick, "I'm too old for that," or "That sounds way too risky"? Perhaps you've stopped traveling to new places, shy away from grappling with the latest technology, or even avoid driving at night because it feels daunting as we age. Fear can sneak into our lives, often so subtly we don't even notice it. Taking root, what begins as a small hesitation, declining an unfamiliar activity, steering clear of a new gadget, or skipping a social gathering can snowball into a broader pattern of avoidance over months or years. That fear can shrink your world, chipping away at your experiences until life feels smaller, lonelier, and far less fulfilling than it could be. So why does this happen? Sometimes it's tied to negative past experiences. A nasty fall, a sudden health scare, or even hearing about someone else's misfortune can plant a seed of dread that grows over time. There's also the fear of failure or embarrassment. The prospect of fumbling with something new, like mastering a smartphone or picking up a hobby, can feel intimidating, especially if you worry about looking foolish over. Exposure to bad news doesn't help either. The media loves to bombard us with stories of crime, scams, and accidents, painting the world as a far more treacherous place than it often is, which can amplify our anxieties. Physical or mental shifts play a role too. Slower reflexes, weaker eyesight, or the occasional memory lapse can erode confidence, nudging us toward avoidance as a form of self-protection. And then there's the pull of comfort and familiarity. Routines feel safe and predictable, while change looms large and overwhelming, tempting us to stick with what's known rather than venture into the unknown. But here's the unvarnished truth. Fear doesn't shield you, it shackles you. When you sidestep new experiences, you're not just missing out on fleeting moments of fun. You're also bypassing opportunities for growth, connection, and the quiet confidence that comes from pushing your boundaries. How do you turn it around? Start small, one manageable challenge at a time. First, pinpoint your fears. What exactly are you avoiding? Write it down. Giving it a name strips away some of its power and makes it easier to confront. Then take baby steps toward facing it. Want to travel again? Plan a short weekend trip nearby. Nervous about tech? Focus on learning one basic function, like sending a text before moving on. Surround yourself with a support system. Join a group, sign up for a class, or enlist a friend to guide you as you ease into uncharted territory. Cut back on the negativity too. Mute the fear-mongering news cycle and seek out inspiring stories of people your age thriving. Defying the odds, and don't forget to celebrate the small victories. Every time you nudge past a fear, acknowledge it. That success builds momentum for the next step. Life is meant to be lived fully vibrantly at every age. Growth doesn't have an expiration date, but it does stall when we stop trying. What's one fear you'd love to conquer? Drop it below and let's talk it through together. Have you ever caught yourself grumbling? Back in my day, we had it so much tougher. Or kids today don't even know what real struggle looks like. Maybe you felt a pang of irritation, watching younger folks glued to their screens, dressing in ways that feel foreign, or navigating life in a manner that seems utterly disconnected from how things used to be. It's easy to feel like the world has morphed too drastically, too quickly. And in many ways, it has technology, culture, and values shift at breakneck speed, leaving a gap that can feel impossible to bridge. But when we lean into talking down to younger generations, we risk slamming the door on meaningful dialogue, alienating them instead of offering the guidance we might hope to share. Why does this disconnect happen? Part of it is frustration with cultural shifts. The world today barely resembles the one you grew up in, and it's natural to measure it against the past, so well. There's also a sense of feeling unappreciated. Many older adults feel that Younger people overlook or undervalue the hardships and sacrifices of earlier times, which can sting. Then there's the deep-seated desire to teach and guide your wisdom is hard-won and valuable. But if it's delivered with a dismissive tone, it's likely to fall on deaf ears. And let's be real, it's tempting to romanticize the past, to polish those memories until they gleam conveniently, forgetting that every era had its own messy, complicated challenges. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Here's the reality check though. Every generation wrestles with struggles. They're just dressed up differently. The obstacles of decades past don't mirror today's trials, but that doesn't make them any less real or valid. How do you bridge the gap? Start by swapping dismissal for curiosity instead of firing off a, "you kids have it so easy." Try asking, what's the toughest thing people your age are dealing with right now? Listen to the answer. You might be surprised by the weight they're carrying. Share your experiences as stories, not lectures. Talk about what life was like for you, the highs and lows, and then invite them to tell you how things differ. Now, look for common ground. Love, purpose, and connection matter to everyone, no matter the generation. Highlight those shared values instead of fixating on what divides you and where you can embrace a bit of change yourself. Dip a toe into their world. Learn about a new trend, fiddle with a piece of tech, or ask about an idea that's foreign to you. It's not about abandoning your perspective. It's about staying engaged with a world that's still spinning. Younger people crave your insights, but they'll only listen if they feel respected, not judged. When we open our minds, we pave the way for real, two-way conversations. What's one thing about today's world that's grown on you? Something you've come to appreciate? Share it below. Let's get the discussion going. When was the last time you laughed so hard? Your sides ached, spun around to your favorite tune, or lost yourself in a game? Just for the sheer joy of it. As we age, life can settle into a predictable rhythm. Wake up, eat breakfast, tackle the day's responsibilities, and unwind with some TV, then off to bed, rinse and repeat. There's this unspoken pressure to act our age, a vague notion that fun is a luxury reserved for the young, something we're supposed to outgrow. But here's the truth that gets buried under routine. Joy isn't a privilege of youth. It's a lifeline, at every stage of life, as vital at 80 as it was at 18. So why do we let it slip away? Often it's because responsibilities take center stage. There's always a mental checklist whispering, "I've got too much to do," drowning out the call for play. There's also the fear of looking ridiculous. Many older adults shy away from carefree activities, worried they'll seem silly or out of place. Physical limitations can loom large too. Lower energy, creaky joints, or fading stamina might make certain joys feel out of reach. Loneliness or depression can sap the spark as well. When friends or loved ones drift away or pass on, it's easy to wonder who's left to share the fun with. And then there's the rut of routine habits calcify into comfort zones, and breaking free starts to feel like more effort than it's worth. But here's what we overlook. Fun isn't frivolous or childish. It's the secret sauce that keeps us feeling alive and youthful, no matter the number of candles on the cake. Whether you're 30, 60, or 90, your spirit still craves laughter, excitement, and a bit of silliness. How do you reclaim it? Start by chasing what lights you up. Music that makes your toes tap a paintbrush in hand, a silly game, or a walk in nature. Carve out time for whatever stirs joy in your soul. Shake up the routine with something spontaneous. Take a detour on your usual walk. Try a new recipe or say yes to an unexpected invitation. Surround yourself with playful people, friends or family who crack you up and nudge you toward fun, reminding you it's okay to let loose, ditch the self-consciousness too. No one's keeping score, so dance like nobody's watching. Belt out a tune or goof off without a care. Happiness trumps appearances every time, and if it helps, treat fun like a priority. Schedule it into your day just as you would a doctor's appointment or a chore. You're never too old to GR ear to play for the sake of playing, to feel that rush of pure, unfiltered delight. Life isn't just about ticking off days, it's about savoring the ride. What's one thing you'd love to do just for fun? Let's brainstorm below. Well, there you have it. 12 sneaky habits that can creep into our lives as we age, and the simple steps to turn them around. Aging doesn't have to mean losing your spark. It's all about staying curious, connected, and open to growth. So what have you learned so far? We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with one thing you've picked up from this video that you'll put into practice in your life. If you like this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips on living your best life at any age.